Paul Harrell, weekdays from 4 to 6. Learn more at paulharrell.com.
Hey, joining us now, I want to talk to Mr. Kenny Wallis is here at the Conduit for Commerce Calvin Coolidge Awards. Kenny, welcome to the program, sir.
Thanks for having me, Paul.
I really appreciate you coming on. I know you do a lot of freelance video work for a lot of different people in the States, including Conduit Media, and so thank you for all of that.
Sure, thank you.
You're also what I would call one of the most knowledgeable people in the state when it comes to special elections because, well, let me just ask you about special elections first. Kenny, are you a fan of special elections?
Absolutely not. They're horrible. They're a scam. They're a way for local governments to basically sneak tax increases past voters. Some of these special elections have had less than 5% turnout and resulted in millions of dollars being transferred from hardworking taxpayers who were already being hit with taxes and fines and fees to oftentimes pet projects, or in some cases what the new scam is now is to waste the general funds on pet projects and then say we have no money for police or fire or schools or jails, etc. And so that's what I'm having to deal with. I've fought against pretty much one of my first real big campaigns was fighting against the 2011 North Little Rock sales tax done by Pat Hayes, where half of the penny was going to police and fire that had been neglected, and the other half was going to a pet project in downtown North Little Rock. And now, since then, I've led the efforts in defeating the Pulaski Technical College millage tax increase, the Bryant millage tax increase of 2015, and I've taken part in helping defeat other local millage tax increases with joining up with other organizations. And now I'm heading up the fight against the newest tax, which is the North Little Rock sales tax of 2017. And
wow. So,
yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Recently, we had some sales tax increases proposed, right after the 4th of July holiday up in northwest Arkansas. Did you follow those?
I'd seen some of them on the Secretary of State's website where under voter information. There is a pull-down list of the 75 counties, and it lists some of the elections that are available. And you kind of have to click on each county to see which ones, what's going on in each one of them. But you can see there's some special elections there, and so I kind of knew a little bit what was going on. But it is hard to keep up with all of these special elections. There's 75 counties, and of course there's municipalities within those counties. So you could have special elections in 2 or 3 special elections in one county.
In your opinion, they're almost always about raising taxes.
Yes, most of the time they're about either raising a tax. Occasionally they're about extending a tax. Which is a tax that was, when it was originally proposed, was a promise to expire, and now the city and local governments have found something else they want to spend money on.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever hear of a tax that's supposed to expire after a certain date, do not believe it. That's part of the sales pitch on the North Little Rock sales tax. Is supposed to expire after, I believe, 5 years. It's not. They're going to find something else to spend money on. They always do. And then every once in a while there'll be like an election for like a judge or a clerk or something. But mostly it's special elections.
I want to talk about the current ones that you're fighting here in just a moment. But speaking of special election reform, right now on the Paul Harrell program, we are broadcasting on 2 signals that cover, I'm going to say all or almost all of Senator Linda Collins Smith's district.
Mm-hmm,
okay. Within that district, there's a state representative by the name of James Sturch from Independence County, and he is single-handedly responsible for killing special election reform that would have begun to end these special elections that are there to take more money from the people without the best reflection of the consent of the governed. Are you familiar with what James Sturch did on the House floor?
Oh yes. That's I've heard about this before on the program. I also filmed some of the debate regarding the special elections within the committee, where the Municipal League and the Chamber of Commerce and the power elite whined about how they need special elections to raise taxes in case of emergencies.
Mm-hmm.
and oftentimes they'll pretend they'll declare an emergency, which is really meant they wasted money on a pet project and raises, and now they have no money for items that they neglected, like police and fire.
Mm-hmm.
And there was even a stipulation that if you are hit with a natural disaster of some kind in the bill, that you
I think that's fair.
Yeah, you could go ahead and raise taxes then. But yeah, James Sturch, of course, in the video shows he basically the bill passed with enough votes, and then they did a sound the ballot, and then sound the ballot. The legislature has to be in their seat, and during that time, Representative Sturch got up, walked out. They sounded the ballot. The bill failed, and then that was the end of it. Of course, Sturch isn't the only one responsible. There's several Democrats and Republicans who could have voted and passed this thing. And certainly if the governor had urged the passage of this, it probably would have gone through.
Yeah, it would have passed with flying colors.
Oh, yeah.
Governor Asa might have not have gotten an invite to that Municipal League summer conference that took place a couple of weeks ago, though, if that was the case.
Yeah.
I believe that was here at the Capitol Hotel, by the way.
Yeah. Of course.
Irony. What irony? Go ahead. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. Well, like, I guess we shouldn't be shocked that Asa Hutchinson didn't fight for lower taxes.
Yeah, exactly.
Based on what he's done so far.
Are you massively disappointed in Asa, or did you expect this when he was running? Did you know he really wasn't going to do anything to shrink government?
I kind of knew this. I'd supported Curtis Coleman during the primary, and then I guess he would have been better than the Democrat whose name Mike Ross.
You think so now, though? Hindsight, you think?
Hindsight, at the time I thought he was, and now I'm beginning to think that he would have been Mike Ross would have probably done the same things, and at least the Republicans would have probably stood up a little more had it been a Mike Ross. I know that there's a Libertarian named Mark West who's running against Asa Hutchinson for governor. I'm not sure if we're really going to have anybody that can unseat him. We may have to focus more on some of these state races. Linda Collins Smith, who is running for re-election, she's somebody that we need to keep in office. And there's a few legislators that we need to probably remove from office, such as Sturch is running for her seat. So
that means if he loses, he won't be he'll be out of office.
Exactly.
So that'll be a good thing. All right. So we're talking with Kenny Wallis. He's an activist. He's a videographer. So you're working on some current special elections coming up. When and where?
Okay, well, August 8th, there is several special elections. I'm going to go through some of the smaller ones that I found out about that are happening across Arkansas. One is the city of Highland, Arkansas. It's about 45 miles west of...
Yeah, I know where Highland is. People who are listening on Mountain Talk or listening on KBTM out of Jonesboro know where Highland is.
Now, they passed an ordinance in April 17th of 2017 for the adoption of 0.5% local sales and use taxes in the city of Highland. I believe this is an extension, and it's to be used with items that they've neglected, like street department, fire department, and police department. Usually what we find in these is that there's been some kind of pet project, like a bike path or a park, or there's been some raises given.
Do you know that that's the case here, though?
I'm not sure. But
I do like your terminology, Kenny. You say neglect. You say that they've been neglected. And I don't think cities like that kind of terminology. You know what I mean?
It's sad but true. I mean,
they've had the money and they just haven't spent it where it needs to go.
And I have much more detail of that in my city, but I'm just kind of going through this one. But anyway, it's
and look, let me stop you. I'm sorry, but the city of Highland. I mean, if you guys want to raise taxes, just do it in a general election. But what's the big deal? Get an accurate count of what people want. Do they want to give you more money or not? I don't see what the problem is with that.
Exactly, and I mean that's one of the things that's immediate red flag is that it is a special election, and these aren't items that weren't an immediate emergency. So, I mean, if they knew these problems were coming up a long time ago, they could have scheduled it in the November election.
Yeah, so
or even at least the May primaries.
That's okay. May primaries are okay. People still turn out. Okay, so what else? August the 8th.
Woodruff County is scheduling a tax increase. I believe they tried to schedule it for July, but if you go to the Secretary of State's website, I show it for August 8th, and this looks to be a sales tax increase of 1%, and it's to be divided into different funds to benefit the county. Part of it's going to be used as an economic development incentive to draw industry to Woodruff County. That is a scam pet project. It's probably either a plaza or a bike path. If you hear the word economic development within tax increase, it's a scam. Just know that, and I have a bigger version of that happening in my city, which I'll get into. Other funds will be repairing a jail facility as maintenance operation of the jail, and it's supposed to make $760,000 over a 12-month period, and so it'll be from 7.5%, which is in the county now, to 8.5%.
Okay,
and that includes, and I believe they include the state funds within that.
Okay,
and so if you're a city within Woodruff County, it could be even higher. I actually had to look up where Woodruff County was. It's west of Searcy, east of Forest City. Some of the big town in there is Augusta, and then McElroy, Penrose, Hillman, Howell, Dixie, and Morton are a few other towns that are in that area.
Yeah. Tax increases all across the state in special elections is what you're telling me.
Exactly. Well, and then, of course, the big one is this is the third one that I know about, and there could be half a dozen more.
Let's pause there. We're going to come back with more with Kenny Wallis and talk about that. It is Johnny Cash Friday, though. Enjoy the music, folks. It's the intersection of conservative ideas and reality, and we are broadcasting live from the Capitol Hotel. It is the Conduit for Commerce Calvin Coolidge Awards, back in just a moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's Johnny Cash Friday, broadcasting from the Calvin Coolidge Awards by Conduit for Commerce at the Capitol Hotel in Little Rock. We're finishing up here with activist videographer Kenny Wallis on special elections. What's the big special election that you're working on right now, trying to stop this from more money coming from the taxpayers?
Well, the city of North Little Rock, the one I fought against in 2011, they're trying it again, this time under Mayor Joe Smith. They're going to try to raise taxes, 1% sales tax increase. This would put the rate up to 9.5%.
Good grief.
And what they're doing with this one is they're subsidizing pet projects like $2 million to Central Arkansas Transit. That's the bus system, which if you notice is
those
usually
are always
empty.
Insolvent.
Yeah, $339,000 for the empty trolley system. We have and also they gave themselves a 2% raise in 2017 and 3% raise in 2016, totaling over $2 million. And now they're saying they have no money for police, fire, sanitation, street repair, and they're saying we either have to cut items including police and fire, or raise the sanitation fee, or do a sales tax. And they're leaving out. Joe Smith has been going around doing these sales pitch presentations where he leaves these items out and tries to give these two options. And so what we're urging people to do is vote against the North Little Rock sales tax. We have a Facebook page where you can deal with that. And of course, early voting is August 1st, with the main elections August 8th, 2017. And so that's what we're fighting with here.
All right. Kenny Wallis, we appreciate it, sir. Thank you for your activism and your commitment to limited government. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Folks, it's Johnny Cash Friday, and we are at the Calvin Coolidge Awards. We're going to be back with the former head of the Bureau of Legislative Research, Mr. David Ferguson, joins us next.